You think inflation is the problem, that prices are rising because of supply shocks, wars, or bad luck. That's the surface story. The real story is that inflation is no longer an accident. It's a tool, a silent mechanism used to transfer wealth upward while the public argues about groceries and fuel. This is not an economic failure. It's a controlled process. And once you see how it works, you realize why your savings feel smaller every year, even when the economy is growing. Picture a normal household. Same job, same hours, same effort. But every year something changes. Rent goes up, food costs more, insurance jumps, subscriptions multiply. You're not buying more, you're just paying more. And the most dangerous part is this. Most people think this is temporary. It's not, because inflation has evolved. It used to be a crisis. Now, it's a strategy. Here's how the modern inflation machine actually works. Layer 1 is monetary expansion. When governments spend more than they collect, they don't pause. They print. Not physically, digitally. New money enters the system through banks, bonds, and financial markets. It doesn't arrive evenly. It arrives first to institutions, funds, corporations, asset holders. By the time it reaches wages, prices have already adjusted. So while your salary crawls forward, assets sprint ahead. Stocks rise. Real estate inflates. Debt expands. This is why the wealthy don't fear inflation. They position for it. You're told inflation hurts everyone equally. That's false. It hurts savers. It rewards leverage. Layer 2 is asset-first inflation. Prices don't rise everywhere at once. They rise where capital flows first. Housing, markets, land, energy. These aren't random targets. They are necessities. When housing inflates, rent follows. When energy inflates, everything follows. When food inflates, stress follows. This is how inflation becomes behavioral control. People stop saving. They stop planning long-term. They accept debt. They accept risk. They accept dependence. Because survival becomes expensive. Now the system tightens. Layer 3 is the rate trap. To fight inflation, interest rates rise. On paper, this looks responsible. In reality, it crushes the middle. Mortgages become unreachable. Credit becomes expensive. Refinancing disappears. But large institutions don't stop borrowing. They restructure. They have access to cheaper capital, complex instruments, and tax shields. So while households freeze, capital consolidates. This is how inflation and rate hikes work together. One inflates assets. The other blocks entry. You are priced out on both sides. Now comes the part most people miss, the psychological layer. Inflation doesn't just drain money, it drains confidence. People delay decisions. They delay families. They delay ownership. They delay independence. They stay liquid because they're afraid. And fear is exploitable. In uncertain environments, people accept worse deals. Higher rents, lower quality, more subscriptions, more fees. Not because they want to, because stability feels safer than resistance. This is not accidental. Uncertainty is profitable. Now the twist. You're told inflation is a failure of policy. But look closer. When inflation spikes, government debt becomes cheaper in real terms. When inflation persists, Wages lag behind productivity. When inflation normalizes, the new prices stay. The reset is permanent. Prices rarely fall back. They just stop rising as fast. So every inflation cycle ratchets the system upward and leaves you lower in relative terms. That's the real function. Not chaos, not mismanagement, resetting the baseline. Now the double twist. Digital systems are being built on top of this inflationary world. Cashless payments, digital wallets, programmable money. In an inflationary environment, these tools are sold as solutions, but they also allow unprecedented control. Spending can be tracked, savings can be discouraged, limits can be imposed quietly. Inflation weakens resistance. Digital systems manage behavior. Together, they form a closed loop. You don't rebel, you adapt. You optimize your life around rising costs, instead of questioning why the costs never stop rising. Now ask the most important question. If inflation is structural, not temporary, what do you do? Because waiting for things to go back to normal is no longer a plan. Here is the 5-step protocol to survive an inflationary system designed to extract from you. First, stop treating cash as safety. Cash is melting by design. Use it for flexibility, not storage. Second, protect purchasing power, not nominal balance. Think in terms of real value. Assets that adjust, skills that compound, income streams that can move. Third, avoid lifestyle inflation traps. The system wants you locked into high fixed costs. Flexibility is power in inflationary environments. Fourth, reduce dependency on variable rate exposure. Debt that can reprice is a silent killer. Stability beats leverage when uncertainty is engineered. Fifth, stay system aware. Inflation narratives change. Mechanisms don't. When you understand how the machine works, you stop blaming yourself. You realize you weren't failing. You were being adjusted. This is the new economic reality. Inflation is no longer a storm to wait out. It's the climate. And people who treat it like weather get wiped out. People who understand it as a system adapt early. That's the difference between survival and slow decline. Subscribe to the Hidden Wealth File. We don't predict the future. We expose the systems shaping it before they finish locking you in.